Welcome to the Section 2 Thought Process Guide for the Maze Runner. Now, as we are in chapters 10 through 12, Thomas finds himself in the Forest of the Glade. So, this prompt has us finding 5 pieces of textual evidence to show how Dashner's choice of words creates suspense in the novel. When responding in a paragraph, you are to use full and partial quotes. First thing you need to do is circle important words from the prompt to help you narrow down what the prompt is asking you to do. The 3 main items are textual evidence, choice of words, and suspense. Next, you need to make sure you know what the word suspense means, so use your resources to look up that definition. Now, you should reread Chapter 10 looking for evidence that shows suspense as Thomas travels through the forest. You need, for this class, 5 pieces of text in full or partial quotes. Begin your response with a topic sentence. Your topic sentence should include the words suspense, Dashner, and the maze runner, as well as choice of words. Following your topic sentence, you should write your response using textual evidence that shows the suspense building within the novel. After the pieces of evidence have been used, explain how these quotes from the text show suspense within the novel. In chapters 13 through 15, you are expected to describe the mood surrounding Ben's banishment. So, you need to know what the word mood means. Find some words to describe the book in chapter 14 after you have reread it. Now, you are expected to find 5 pieces of textual evidence that support your description of the mood. Begin your response with these words in your topic sentence. Chapter 14, mood, and the words can be described as fill in the blank. Next, be sure to support your response using textual evidence and explain why the chosen selections or quotes from the book support your chosen mood surrounding Ben's banishment from the glade. So, just to recap, you're picking a word that describes the mood during this time of the story and finding textual evidence to support your chosen description of the word or of the term mood. In chapters 16 through 18, the doors are closing to the maze. Newt makes a statement in which it was so succinct and final it seemed to hang in the air like a burial shroud. Now, when answering this response, first, look up the definitions of succinct and burial shroud. After you are comfortable with these words and their definitions, you need to know what a simile is or means. Remember, a simile compares 2 items using the words like or as. Once you reread chapter 16, you will have a clear understanding of what is happening in the plot. While thinking about what is happening in this chapter, think about how the doors closing in the maze could be similar to a burial shroud. Now, as you begin your response, the topic sentence needs to include the words chapter 16, simile, and the fact that the doors to the maze close in 2 minutes. Now, be sure to explain why the phrase that Newt says is a simile when applied to what is happening in the plot of the story. Transitioning on to chapters 19 through 21, this section talks about point of view. With the novel The Maze Runner, this novel was told in third-person limited point of view. Now, you need to use 1 piece of textual evidence to prove your knowledge of how this novel is written in point of view. So, the steps you need to take are as follows. First, know what third-person limited and point of view mean. Be sure to use your resources to find the definition to these terms. Next, decide which character's influence molds the story. Now, this character will be limited, or the reader will be limited to this character's point of view. Begin your response using the words third-person limited point of view and your character's name that you have chosen. Prove your choice using one piece of text, one quote from the text that shows the point of view being third-person limited. This is how you are explaining that this text or this novel shows the third-person limited point of view. Now, when answering the prompt about why you think third-person limited is the best point of view for this story, you need to know the difference between third-person limited and first-person point of view. Think about what are the advantages of both types of point of view. Now, you need to state your opinion as to why third-person limited is better. Consider the advantages of having a narrator when there could be more than one main character. Now, as we continue on, the novel has dialogue, action, and narrative. However, Chapter 20 only uses narration. So, what we need to do to answer this prompt are follow these steps. Know what narration means. Reread Chapter 20 and look for narration. Think about what is happening in this chapter. If this chapter was told using Thomas's words or dialogue, would we have gotten all of the rich descriptive language during this chapter? The answer to that question is no. So, you need to consider that question during your response. Begin your response by using the words narration and effective for Chapter 20. Continue your response using 3 pieces of text. These could either be full or partial quotes, and your own words. Explain the effect those words had on you while you were reading. So, there you have the thought process behind Reading Response Section 2 for the novel The Maze Runner.